Welcome back to Only Talk Sports, where we talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm your host, Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, Week 9 in the NFL season is over, and let's break down all the results and see which ones were the biggest takeaways of Week 9. Now, on Thursday Night Football, the Philadelphia Eagles stay undefeated. They are 8-0, and they beat the Houston Texans 29-17. The Texans are now 1-6-1. They are really struggling this season. Jalen Hurts at 243 yards for the Philadelphia Eagles and 2 touchdowns. He is playing fantastic. And on the Texans side, Davis Mills at 154 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. The Texans tried, but they were just no match for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, up next on Sunday, we had the Los Angeles Chargers beat the Atlanta Falcons 20-17. The Chargers are now 5-3, and the Falcons are 4-5. The Chargers, Justin Herbert had 245 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and on the Falcons side, Marcus Mariota had 129 yards, but no touchdowns and no picks, and that proved to be the difference. Up next, we have the Miami Dolphins. They beat the Chicago Bears 35-32. The Dolphins are now 6-3, and the Bears are 3-6. And the Dolphins are playing fantastic football. They've won every single game that Tua Tagovailoa has played and finished, and he played fantastic again. He had 302 yards and 3 touchdowns. And obviously, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle both had great games. Tyreek Hill at 143 yards to the air and a touchdown, and Jalen Waddle at 85 yards and a touchdown. So that's why the Miami Dolphins are doing really good. And on the Chicago Bears side, Justin Fields at 123 yards to the air and 3 touchdowns, and he had a NFL record 178 yards for a quarterback on the ground and touchdown, but it was not enough. The Chicago Bears played valiantly, but the Dolphins got the win. The Panthers lost to the Bengals 21-42. The Bengals are playing fantastic now, and they're playing a lot better. They're now 5-4, and the Carolina Panthers are really struggling at 2-7. PJ Walker started the game, but he only had 9 yards and 2 picks, so they brought Baker Mayfield in the second half, who's back from injury, and he had 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. He played decent, but they're still going with PJ Walker up in their next game. And on the Bengals side, Joe Burrow had 206 yards and a touchdown. And Joe Mixon on the ground at 153 yards and 4 touchdowns. When you're giving up 4 touchdowns on the ground, you're not going to win many games. So that was a good win for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Detroit Lions beat the Green Bay Packers 15-9. And the Lions are 2-6, and the Packers are 3-6. The Green Bay Packers are really struggling this season. Devontae Adams being gone is a big deal, and they've had a lot of injuries as well, and they're really struggling. And Aaron Rodgers couldn't get anything going in this game. He had 291 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. And on the Detroit Lions side, Jared Goff at 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. So he didn't have as good of a game statistically as Aaron Rodgers on yards, but they still got the win. And that was a good win for the Lions, who have been losing a lot of games in a row. The New England Patriots beat the Indianapolis Colts 26-3. The Patriots are back over 500. They're 5-4, and the Colts are 3-5-1. Sam Ehlinger played for the Colts, and he had 103 yards and an interception. And on the Patriots side, Mac Jones at 147 yards and a touchdown. But their defense stifled the Indianapolis Colts, and they were able to get the win. And unfortunately for the Indianapolis Colts, they're having a rough season, and their head coach, Frank Reich, just got fired because they've been struggling. The New York Jets beat the Buffalo Bills 20-17. The Jets have been one of the biggest surprise teams of the season as well, along with the Eagles and Giants. The Jets are 6-3, and the Buffalo Bills are 6-2 now. And obviously, Josh Allen had a couple of interceptions at the end of the game. He had 205 yards and 2 picks that proved to be the difference. He did have 86 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. And on the Jets side, Zach Wilson had 154 yards and a touchdown. But again, those 2 picks for Josh Allen were the difference, and the Jets got a huge win. The Minnesota Vikings, another surprise team, are now 7-1 after they beat the Washington Commanders, who were 4-5, 20-17. The Minnesota Vikings are having a pretty good season. They're finding ways to win. I don't know how, if they're one of the best teams in the NFL. I don't know how good they are, but they still are playing really good football. And again, they're finding ways to win. Kirk Cousins had 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. And on the Commanders side, Taylor Heinicke had 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception, but it was not enough for the Commanders, and the Vikings got the win. Up next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders 27-20. The Jaguars are 3-6, and the Raiders are 2-6. The Raiders have been blowing a lot of leads this year. They've had multiple games where they were up by double-digit score, but they found a way to lose. And Derek Carr had 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. And on the Jaguars side, Trevor Lawrence had 235 yards and a touchdown, and Travis Etienne had 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Jaguars were able to get a big win. Seattle Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals 31-21. The Seahawks are 6-3, and the Cardinals are 3-6. Big win for the Seahawks. They're having a great season, and with Geno Smith at quarterback, he's had 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. And on the Cardinals side, Kyler Murray had 175 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he had 60 rushing yards. But the Seahawks still got the win. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a much-needed win over the Los Angeles Rams, 16-13. The Bucs are 4-5, and the Rams are 3-5. Matthew Stafford, 165 yards and a touchdown. And on the Buccaneers side, Tom Brady at 280 yards and a touchdown. He's still playing fantastic. The Buccaneers are really struggling, but they're tied with the Falcons in the NFC South at 4-5, so they're still in the hunt to make the playoffs because that division is really struggling. On Sunday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Tennessee Titans 20-17 in overtime. This was a game the Titans were winning the whole time, but they just could not get anything going at the end of the game. And Mahomes' magic, he found a way to win in overtime. And obviously, the Tennessee Titans are having a pretty good season, and they have probably the best running back in the NFL, and Derrick Henry had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Malik Willis tried to fill in for Ryan Tannehill. He had 80 yards passing and 40 yards on the ground, but Tennessee Titans just cannot throw the ball. The Chiefs can. Patrick Mahomes had 446 yards through the air, a touchdown, interception. He had 63 rushing yards and a touchdown. That proved to be the difference. Unfortunately, in modern day NFL, it's very hard to win when you can't throw the ball like the Titans, and you can run the ball, which is really good, but you can't throw, and the Chiefs can throw, and that's why they're having a great season. And on Monday Night Football, the Baltimore Ravens beat the New Orleans Saints 27-13. The Ravens are 6-3, and the Saints are 3-6. Lamar Jackson, 133 yards and a touchdown. And Kenyon Dragon, 93 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Andy Dalton had 210 yards, a touchdown, interception. He's trying, but he could not get it done, and the Ravens got the win. Now, week 9 in the NFL season, a lot of big results. It's getting closer and closer to potential playoff implications. Teams start to win more games, lose more games, and the playoff race is going to start shaking up. Comment down below what you think about week 9 in the NFL. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below, and I will see you next time.